and switch cameras. Anybody got anything else they want to add before I do this? All right. We've done this landscaping. And what I'm going to do now is come in here and really enhance all this. And I'll come up and do some of the landscaping I did on top. Has anybody seen this top video yet? No?
No.
Mm. All right, well.
Oh, you did the bottom, but not the top.
Okay. Well, I'll send you the top. We'll just do the bottom, the side today. So let me make sure the lighting looks pretty good. So turning this on, can't even hear it. So quiet. So let's see if that's going to be fast enough. All right, my first group that is down here where I separated. Here's a group right here. These are lower than anything else right here. So I'm going to come in and dress that up a little bit. Now you're going to be able to see a big difference in the jump on groups. When I finish this. There, that's better. A big study board up there. Before I get it too far into that, but you see what I'm doing, don't you?
Yep.
All right. So now the next level, I've got red lines around here. I don't know if you can see them or not. Let me pull it a little closer. Which is it? Yeah, right here. You see the red lines now here? Right here. I'm going to drop this group down below that the red line is and drop it back toward the back. As a group. Forget about the feathers being drawn in there. Fine dust makes it slippery. I'm not worried about separating the feathers inside the group yet. I just want to get the groups re-separated. I'm leaving just enough there where I can see where I have them drawn, but don't worry about it. I can redraw them anytime you want. So. All right, see the end of this thing's getting brown now. I'm putting more pressure on it, burning a little bit. So now I've got this group. Now, this thing right here, you can actually do this with your fork. But you got to keep this foot pedal on there to keep it from going too fast. And I'm going to take the Fordham sander and just come in and smooth those out a little bit. But I've got 240 on this wheel. Now, you see what's happening? When you go to put your splits and everything in there, you don't have to do anything else right here. You've already got you've got it landscaped. but you don't have an edge. You got your edge up in the corner, yeah. That's fine. That's where you get your depth. But you don't have to define this edge or this edge or any of these edges. I can come in here and draw that back. Draw those back in there. So let me turn around a little bit. Okay. Having that put back in there, if you try to look at it from different directions, you can see that it's not just a slick surface there. You've got some realism in there. You want to come in here and put your quills back in. Okay. And I'll continue on forward. I would go, there's a group right here. There's this group right here. Group right here. And this group right here hadn't been sanded out yet. And then a group right here. So it's worth taking the time to do that because it's going to add softness to your feathers and realism to your feathers. And when you're drawing your quills, make sure you don't have them straight. You've got to have some shape to your quills and have them coming from the front up here, coming back up like this. And when you put your splits in, make sure they're curved. See? Yeah. Don't go in here and start doing this. You don't want that. Curve everything. And then you'll end up with something like this. When we go to burn, you know, when you go to burn, and I'll burn these on a cloud. I'll do a demo of burning some of these once I get this side pocket done. Or I may just burn these because this is my world piece. I don't want to get too fast on that. I have to slow down a lot. All right. So without going all the way, the rest of it is I've made some marks on the back where I want to go my depth, where my groups are separated. I'm basically having grooves come down through here, and there's a group right here, and it's flowing this way. They're all flowing this way. And you'll see where I'm headed when I send you how I got this far. And then what we'll do is we'll go back in, same thing I did here. And then these I could probably go down to the smaller cone on some of these small groups. And there will be small groups. I mean, like on the breast, for instance. I mean, you're gonna have little groups like this right here. Let's see it. Right here. things like that. Short groups, not long. You don't want these long strips, stacks all the way down, rows and rows and rows. Never seen a real duck like that ever. Because feathers have feather tracks in them. When they're wet, they kind of like, the feathers are wet, they come and they clump up like this. And sometimes you got one feather overlapping. It's supposed to be like this, and they'll get wet and they'll overlap like this. And then the next one, when water drains off the bird, you'll have these rows where the water drained off and left the feathers and they dry. And it looks like that's the way they are, like they're at a row. Y'all seen ducks like that? Carvings like that? Where there's just rows and rows and rows and rows of feathers. You see it mostly in marsh ducks because marsh ducks have the terology or the pores where the feathers come out of are closer together on the marsh ducks, where divers, they're more like bowling pin style. They're staggered. Mm-hmm. So they will tend to be more in rows when they're dry. I very seldom see a canvasback or a diver with those kind of feathers in it, where it's stuck together, look like they go in rows. And you very seldom see a well-groomed and dry marsh duck. I mean, they might have a few around the neck like this right here, but not all the way down the chest. Hmm. I even see master carvers do that, and it's ridiculous. I think they do it because it's pretty, but sometimes it's kind of like my grandmother used to always cook her turkey in a brown paper bag, right, for Thanksgiving. And then my mother started doing it, brown paper bag. And my first wife started doing it. And ain't no damn reason. There's no real reason. It's just something you saw being done and you thought it was cool, so you did it. That's kind of what some of the trends in carving are. Unfortunately, some of the judges get caught up in that and they think, well, if you don't have the rubbers, you gotta throw it out. Now, you've got color patterns. Like, let's take the loon, for example. We've got color patterns where the feather, where the feathers come out, they're very stacked. They are very close together. And part of that reason is for coloration, the way they're colored. And they look kind of striped, the way you color them. But they're not actually perfectly in a row. It's just the way the colors are arranged on the feathers. They might be bigger on one and smaller on the other, or more on one side than on the other, like that. And David, you can run into that and you start painting that way. I think Lori did a pretty good job. You probably could follow her guide on that. Except I think she had too many stripes. Okay.
Their necklace.
Yeah, I think for ways, yeah, but not when you don't go all the way down. I mean, the feathers get too big to stay in line like that. They're going to get wet and they're going to shift side to side. Especially in rough water. They get bites and they get scraps and mating activities and such. And fishing.
Well, necklace feathers are actually the tips of two feathers coming together to raise up, causing the ridges.
And that's what makes the white tip, white spot. And if you pluck one of those feathers out, not on your bird, on a real bird, and look at it, it'll amaze you where the colors are and how they stay, how they migrate on the feather as you move down and as you move up. You can take any mount and do that. It's got, like wood duck, for instance, it's got the little stripes there. Little V-shapes markings. Or anything with spots on it, like a blue wing. it's amazing the transformation, you know, from clear and crisp down to blurred and spread out. Just, any questions on that? I'm going to stop this video.